Hello, how are you doing today? You look awake, that's good, that's good. And I think we are going to have an interesting time together because we are going to talk about something new that we didn't talk in the past. That's durable textiles. And why talking about textiles now? We've been talking about textiles for some time. I was in latex since the very beginning. You know, I have been always very enthusiastic about latex technology. We talk a lot about how good we are printing on self-adhesive vinyls, the scratch resistance, how good we are doing decoration with wallpapers and canvases. And we talk about textiles. Latex can work on textiles. But it's true that we say that yes, it works very good quality, but be careful with the prints. Be careful with the handability. And today we are here because this is changing. So we are now going to be in much better shape than in the past with textiles and HP Latex. So this is why we are here today. Still, the title is the same, soft signage. We are talking about these applications that you're going to see in a second, which are for usage in a trade show, in an event. You use and you throw away. It's not for washing. I'm not talking about washable textiles. I'm talking about durable textiles. And what does it mean, durable textiles? Well, it means this type of textiles that you do like this and nothing happens. And this is a revolution. I've been, again, for a lot of time with latex, and when I was doing that, I was always having a lot of problems. In fact, I have here my sample that I've been using in the last months. This is the typical application I was showing, and I have to reprint it every presentation. Why? Because I have a lot of marks. These marks are known to you, isn't it? When you handle textiles printed with latex, quality is great, but you need to take a lot of care of the prints. If you do like this, then the inks go away. So now we talk about something new. This is something that we can avoid. Why is that? Because now there are in the market textiles that are durable. And this is the message of this presentation, that exist textiles, and I'll show you which are them, that you can handle like this, and they are not going to be destroyed. Yes, you want to try it? So you are going to receive samples, obviously, because it's not a blah, blah, blah. It's also, obviously, you're going to touch and feel yourself. Okay? So these textiles is the reason of this presentation. And what does it mean that they are resistant? Well, we do like this, but we also have a standard test. The standard test with a tabber machine takes this textile and wraps the textile in dry on top of the image. And then you take a look at the white textile, whether it's still white or you remove some of the ink. So it's a very standard test that we had to do standard because if not, it's very sensitive to everyone doing this thing, no? So, you know, it's the tabber we do under the ISO standards, and ISO standards gives us the force and the speed of these movements, and then there is a scale from 1 to 5. Historically, with latex, we have always been between 2 and 3. So this performance here, it's probably a 2. So the textiles printed with latex, historically, were around 2 and 3. Now we are here because there are in the market textiles printed with latex that they are a 4 and a 5, but mainly 4. And that makes a big difference. I can tell you, because I have experienced that, and I will show in a second, that 4 is really good number. It's much more than enough to enter into the soft signage market. So as you can imagine, this is really good news because the samples are here to demonstrate that it's feasible, it's possible to do that. We are very excited, but also our customers are very happy. Not our customers, but in general, the print service providers that we visit. We visit several service providers in the last months with the samples that you'll receive afterwards with this type of samples. And we share the story with them, and all these print service providers, all of them were very happy. They say, wow, this is a big thing. Can I get hold of these textiles? Can I work with HP to be a beta tester? Because that's what we're waiting for a long time. So we are very excited. Our customers are also very excited. So let's get into the presentation. What are we going to do with these durable textiles? Well, mainly, we are going to do soft signage. Again, we keep on talking about soft signage. We don't talk about upholstery. We don't talk about clothing. We still talk about soft signage, mainly indoor soft signage. So we are going to be able to do applications for soft signage. And let's run along this application so that you see what is this potential that now we can do very strongly and much better than in the past. What is the type of applications we can share with our customers that they can do. So typical application, point of sale displays. And here, there are several types of point of sale displays. The typical one, which I'm sure you know, is this type of display that comes with an aluminum frame, and then you just put your textile inside. Very elegant, very easy to install, very easy to remove. This is the textile that you need to print. In this case, you are going to print with HP Latex, and then you need to sew the silicone on the sides. And once you have the silicone on the sides, you take your frame. And the reason why it is a successful application is because you give it to your final customer, and the final customer doesn't need to be an installer. The final customer just needs to press the silicone inside this slot, and then it's very easy to install. So this can be installed by anyone very easily, but also can be removed, can be replaced very easily. That's why this system is very popular all over the world. It's a great system that has been there for a lot of time. Now we have no problems when we sew the silicone here. There are no problems when we install the material here. There is no problems when we handle the application. So that's why we are now much better, because we are going to be able to deliver a nice finish application much better than in the past. And you may say, great news, that is good, but still this type of application, although it's the typical one, my customers, especially the ones that want to start into soft signage, they are not going to do this because they don't have a sewing machine, they don't know how to sew. In fact, myself, I don't like it. Why? Because I don't have a sewing machine, I need always to subcontract. It takes some time. They always force me to send the frame over there, because if not, it doesn't fit exactly. So it's a little bit of a nightmare. It's like this, but it's a little bit of a nightmare. So I'm very happy to introduce you a different system, which is brand new. It was presented last week in Las Vegas, but it's also available here in Europe. It's brand new, and I think it's a big revolution which is going to change completely this type of applications over there. I'm talking still about a one point of sale display, but much easier than this one. I'm talking about this type of display over here that looks the same as the previous one, but you're going to see that is much better. And why is much better? Because you don't need the silicone anymore for this type of display. So imagine being able to print your image and just install this image inside the frame without any silicone, and having it as nice as that one, and doing that in a matter of a minute or less. So this exists today, and this, I think, is really good news because of all these people like myself that don't want to do the sewing process. So this will allow our customers to enter into soft signage without the need or initially of investing anything on finishing. So this consists of a frame. It's this frame from Signage. It's a company from UK, but they distribute all over the places. It's a special frame that has some indents here that you'll see in a second. When I insert the textile here, it stays there with very good tension. So the way to do it, again, it's in a matter of a minute. You just take your print. You just center your print in the middle of the frame, and then you take any device like this, can be even a credit card. You just need to insert that on the frame. So I'll try to do it like this. It's not the ideal position, but I'll try to do it like this. So you just press like this, and you see that very easily you just get it inside. You usually need to have a 1.5 centimeters extra on the sides. You just start from one side, then you go to the opposite side. You just do like this, and you see now very quickly that I already have a tension here. You see, I have a tension here. So in a matter of a minute, you do this. Even if you have excess of material, you can keep on pressing, and you can have all this material inside, as you can see. So even if you didn't center, you can have the excess of material here. You just go to the other side, and again, I'm not doing that in a very comfortable situation, but still it's working quite well. So I think that you understand that this is already quite a stretch, and it's only a matter of spending some more seconds even on the sides, because I cut a little bit of the corners. Then I'm not going to have a lot of excess of ink over there. So this is a huge revolution, and I think that we really need to take a look, because it's a message. If we combine durable textiles with this type of application, our customers will say, wow, okay, maybe I can do that. In fact, now you already have a latex machine. You can do it right now. You don't need any investment. Just buy a roll of media, a roll of a textile, and you can offer these applications, which are ideal, because those are the ones that have a good margin. So again, when we install this, there is no effect on the material. If it's a durable textile, you are going to deliver that as nicely as this. And your final customer, even if the final customer is not very careful, he will get very nice quality, even on the sides. And I was using a print like this for a lot of times, and last week still was in very, very good shape. So very happy on the performance in terms of durability of these textiles. And again, if you combine good printing technology, latex is, by no doubt, with good materials, specifically good textiles, which are the ones that I will share with you in a second, and then good applications like this one, I think is a good combination that helps us to connect with our customers, and this is what we are looking for. Yes? For sure. The frame is just a frame that you're going to use it forever. So I didn't try many times, it's brand new, but yes, I've reused it a lot. Once you have it used, you just remove it from here, you remove the... And then, no, you just need one frame, and then you just need to remove it from here. Okay, like this. And what amazes to me is that even this textile that was inside the frame with a lot of pressure, it's not damaged. The image is not damaged. This is what really tells me I still to believe. The story I'm telling to you, I start to believe it, because to me it's quite unbelievable. I've been working with latex for a lot of years. Always I had big problems here, always. And now I don't have problems, so I think I'm there. I'm there. It will take still some time, but I start to believe what I'm telling to you. Good. So other applications, pop-up displays, like this one over here. So this is a very interesting application, which also was kind of a dream for me to be able to talk about that. Why is that? In the past, I was talking about this application where you have a frame that you open in a trade show, and then you stick the big textile on top. So the problem is that I was telling my customers in the past, hey, you know, the textile needs to be in a core. So you need to transport the textile like this. That doesn't make sense. When you do this application in a trade show, you come with this. You know, this comes all together in a bag like this one. Okay, so you arrive to the trade show, you open the big application, and then from inside, you take the textile. So this is what comes inside. The textile is usually like this. It's completely folded. So if you were doing that with the standard textiles for latex, it's a big problem. When you open this, there are always traces, and there is always some areas, especially in the blacks, where the ink goes away. And because of the foldability, and at the end, this can be a big issue. So now, for the first time ever, I believe, so this does not happen. And this is the sample here. I'm very happy. Last week, I was in the States. I went to an event in, it was a ISA, and I sent this structure with the textile inside, together with others that you'll see in a second. So in the plane, I was suffering, because I thought, okay, now, when I arrive at the hotel, I will open this structure, and if the print is not in good shape, what do I do? Because I'm supposed to tell you that it's very durable, but if I have some marks, so I was suffering a lot, because I've never seen that. But no, I was opening that, and the print was like this one, with no trace of any area where the ink was removed. So for the first time, we can do that very nicely. So this is a great application, because you need a white machine. If you need to do that with dice up, it's a very costly machine to have this white. Not a lot of people has these white machines. With latex, you can do that. What gets out of the printer is already this. So very nice application with big margins. I think you will agree that the margins for this are very, very big, because not a lot of people can do these things. So again, durable when we fold it, durable when we stretch it, when we mount it. Another application around also trade show, this folding counter that we see over here. So what does it mean exactly? Well, it means that imagine that you go to a trade show with your counter, which comes in a luggage like this, and you need to open it, and you want to have it in very good shape. So this is a reality already, and I did that. I prepared it here, I sent it to the States with me, I used there, and now it comes back again. And I can tell you that it's amazing. How well this is you see it's this over here that comes in a luggage. So you just open it. So this is what you would do in an event. No, you just take this application over here, just put it here on the floor, and there we go. So honestly it's amazing. Not only the structure, it's a nice structure, but the fact that I've been doing that many times already, and still this is not white. So no, it's not white. No. And I need to check always, because it's like, I've been doing that a lot. And also, all this material which is here is in very good shape. This didn't happen in the past. All this was completely, yes, hello? No, it's for the history, no? It's a historical picture. You're going to send that all over your country, yeah? Yes. And you have a lot of contacts in your country, no? In Poland, everybody will see that, yes? Good. So a better picture is where you're going to see what happens now. And then when you are done, you just do like this, okay? And done, okay? So, ready. And once again, you can open, okay? And still, as you can see, there's no trick, eh? Still in very good shape.
I told you, magic.
Good. So this is the story, that we can work with this type of textiles, foldable, transportable, and still in very good shape. Now, I'm very happy to see that, well, this was in the States last week, and it's been handled a lot, and still in very good shape. Okay, another application, because again, you are seeing applications on soft signage, things that require this nice handability, but again, we are not talking about wet rub resistance. We are talking about dry resistance, okay? So this would be another one, a roll-up like this one over here. I love the roll-ups done with the textiles. There's nothing better as a material than a textile for a roll-up. It's something very elegant. I still don't understand why some people in a trade show, they spend a lot of money on the place, but then they have a PVC roll-up banner. It's a huge difference. I mean, this gives a very nice different atmosphere. So I really believe on the textile roll-up banners. I think we need to push them more, obviously to our advantage because it's more margin. But also customers will be much more happy if we are able to deliver that to them. So now when we handle these roll-ups, when we put them in position, they are in very good shape and you don't see the scratching that you would see in the past. So what are applications for soft signage? Well, posters that are hanging from the ceiling. And I can tell you that I'm also amazed about the quality. So the fact that these new textiles are durable has no impact on the image quality. The image quality of latex with textiles has always been very good. I think that none of us had any concern. And we still have very good quality. You see how good these blacks are, these yellows, these reds. So very happy about that. Not only the quality that you see, but also the quality that you feel. Why is that? Because the textiles that I will present to you in a second are textiles that are not coated. They don't have a coating on top. So, and because they don't have a coating, the touch and feel is really good. What they have is a treatment. So they go through a treatment, but it's not really something on top that gives the thickness. So still, they have a very good, nice touch and feel. And as you see, very good image quality also, as you saw on the samples. So another type of application could be these window shop banners, kind of a semi-transparent banners like these ones over here, where you have this type of flag material that you can have a little bit of transparency, and even from the back side, it's not like dye-sap, but it's not that bad. In some cases, you might find these acceptable. Okay, so this is something that is also very different from what I was showing to you in terms of material, but also they exist in durable. No? So another application, a teardrop for indoor, like this one over here. Again, good quality from one side, not that good on the other, but in some cases maybe acceptable. This is something that you find a lot in indoor places, but also outdoor. And again, I'm talking to you a lot about indoor. What does it happen outdoor? Can we bring that outdoor? The answer is yes, we can bring it outdoor, but we have to be careful because this resists the water very well, but doesn't resist the wet rubbing. So what do I mean by that? It means that I have here a sample of this type of teardrop material that if I put with water, nothing happens, as opposed to the previous latex inks that was a big problem if you put with water now. So nothing happens. If I handle like this, nothing happens. But if I start to do like this, long term, so you don't see now, but there may be something. So at the end, we need to be careful long term, and what we say is short term, it's okay, especially this application. This application is even easier because there is no friction between the sides because it's very plain, so it's not like a flak. So this is not going to rub to itself. So I think this is going to work very well for outside. In fact, the advantage that we may have here compared to dye-sap is dye-sap, you know, it has very poor light resistance. So the colors, they fade very quickly. With latex, they resist a lot, much more than dye-sap. I'm not telling to you that this is better than dye-sap, but I tell you that for short term, it might work, and we are going to resist the light much better than with dye-sap. So imagine an area, an indoor area where the sun goes very strongly. This is going to last a lot. Okay, so that's another application that I think makes sense for us to discuss. Then table throws, I see that a lot in trade shows and events, is like this one that we have over here. Again, also very happy to show you that, not only because of the quality of that we have over here, good reds, very saturated colors, but also these over here in the past would be already white because the ink on these angles would go out very quickly. And here it keeps very well. So even this application that requires resistance to rubbing like this, so it resists very well. So as you can see, a lot of different applications that now we are able to enter quite soundly. And I believe this is the message that our customers want to hear. We really need to train our customers on this new market that they may be able to enter now with their current machine or with a new latex machine. And I know that you are wondering, okay, great, durable textiles, but what is this textile? Where it does come from? So you are going to receive a folder. I think it's going to be tomorrow. You're going to receive a folder with all these textiles, because at the end, it's not a blah, blah, blah presentation. I mean, at the end, you need to have a folder with the samples, because I really want you to touch and feel the samples and do your test. Don't destroy them in front of me, because it took me a lot of work to have all them on time for you, because it's a very recent project. This is quite a recent project. Because it's a recent project, I'll tell you also afterwards. Because it's very recent, we are not showing to you a lot of brands. In fact, I'm only showing to you one brand now. Next time that we meet, we are going to show you more brands. So more brands are coming to the market. Now we introduce you one, which we think is much more than good enough. But it's only one brand that we showed you, one or two brands that we'll show you. Anyway, you'll have the samples in the folder for you to take a look. And which is this brand that you can now get these textiles? Well, Auric Textiles, you know, it's a very popular company. And they have been able to develop durable textiles. Specifically, which textiles are they? Now, today we're talking about 4 textiles. Very soon, we already have on the plan, we'll have more textiles, but today we have more. Again, I believe you're going to receive this presentation. If you want the PowerPoint slides, if you want exactly these ones, because I always do last minute changes, you can ask me, but they are going to receive that presentation, yes?
Receive an USB with the PDF files.
Yes. If for whatever reason you want the PowerPoint because you want to edit, no problem. You can contact me. I can give you whatever you need here. Okay? So 4 medias, Digi Competition, Digi Panorama, Supernova, Digi Fascination. I will need to go over there now because I will need to show these samples from the wall. So hello, it's Roman, going to do some tests here on the wall. Anyway, Digi Competition is this material you see over here. Here we print in 2 different printers, so it's here for you to touch and feel. Digi Panorama, it's a little bit thicker. You see going from 170 to 250 grams. And then the Supernova is even thicker, is the thickest, the 260 grams one. And then a 4th material, again printed with the 2 printers here, the 500 and the 3000, is this type of a teardrop material, which is the Digi Fascination. Okay? So, and you see very clearly here, and you're going to see in the next slides, that today we are talking about 3.2 meters rolls. Okay? But we are making sure that they are offering as soon as they can. They told us in the second half of this year, we should be able to find the 1.6 meter rolls. But today, it's only the 3.2 meters rolls that are available. All these textiles that you are going to receive, and we are going to comment in a second, are polyester, so 100% polyester. So 3 of them knitted, the flag one is kind of a woven. The applications, the ones that you see. So now we're going through all these materials, and you'll see that one material are used for this application. The other material are used for the other. It doesn't mean that you can only do that application with that material. At the end, you can mix materials. But I just wanted to give an example, and that's why now I was linking a material with an application. But again, in general, you can use all these materials to do all these different applications here. So one thing very interesting to note here is that we are talking about textiles that are fire retardant. And that's a very important thing for the markets that we are going. All this goes in a trade show, and in the trade show, you know, you have to be fire retardant. So these textiles, and let me go back on the slide, these textiles are fire retardant, and you will find it there in the name. The name, it says Everall. That means fire retardant, and the L, so in fact here it says latex version. The L means latex. So the Digi-Competition, Digi-Panorama, and Supernova already exist in the market. But now, Aurig is going to release the Digi-Competition, Panorama, and Supernova with the L compatibility, so especially designed for latex. So they are fire retardant, but they are designed for latex. So this is new materials being released into the market with this latex compatibility. So again, designed for latex. Yes, you have a question?
Do you know if they are B1 certified before or after printing as well?
They are before. There is no textile, as far as I know, that it's certified with the ink on top. Okay? So it's always before printing that they do this certification, which makes no sense, but this is the industry. At the end, when you go to a trade show, and if the police in the trade show ask you about, hey, show me the certification of this material, they show you the certification of the material prior to printing. Makes no sense, because at the end what you care is what happens after printing, no? But today it's like this.
May I just ask, maybe stupid, but what is P1? Does it mean 10 minutes resistant, 20, or is it a heat behind, or what means P1?
Choose, you want to answer? You are an expert there because you've been working on fire retardancy a lot.
B1 is the certification mainly for Germany, so it's adopted by all Europe, and it's related to the amount of time that it's taking. I'm not exactly how many seconds, I can answer afterwards, but this is the adopted traditional certification dictated by the Germany in this case. So it's
Because when you
used.
for a house, if you have, for example, F10, F20, F30, it means the fire resistance in minutes. And I mean F10, it will resist every 10 minutes, 1 centimeter is burned.
Okay.
And then the wooden need to be whatever, F30, so you need 30 centimeters of wood.
Right.
Means F30 in
Okay.
the house. And now my question would be, what means P1? 10 minutes or
No, I don't think this is rated with well, that it has to do that is not going to get fire. It takes a lot of time for it to, in fact, we tried to burn it and it didn't get the fire. So
Normally is the time that once you try to burn, the time that is to extinguish the flame, so the flame doesn't propagate, so extinguished. And how long it takes to extinguish in order to avoid that you have a fire.
Also,
But
if
I'm
smoke
going
is
to-
coming out, that's also one testing, and the dropping of the product.
and
Exactly the time that
it's a difficult test. So to be able to pass this test, and Chus can tell better than anyone else because she's working on materials that have to have this fire retardancy, so it's difficult. So that's why we thought very interesting to tell you that they have this certification, because it makes a big difference a material that has or don't have it. It's much more difficult to have the certification. Okay? So the materials that I'm going to share with you. Yes? So the materials I will be giving to you in the folder, we are going to come in a second so that when you get them, you understand a little bit better. So this one is the Digi-Competition, is the thinner. As you can see, print with ink collector. They are porous materials, and therefore they need an ink collector to be printed. So today we certified these materials for the 3000, 1500, 500, the 300 it will come. So it was a matter of priorities. We decided to make priorities here, but in the next weeks we are going to have the profiles also for the 360 on these materials. 360 because it's a porous material and therefore can only work with a 360. So this one has been printed with 500. Again, that's why I tell you that the small rolls are still not there, but will come hopefully very shortly. So this is the one printed on the 500. Then we have here a little bit thicker material, the Digi Panorama. So really nice material. It's, I would say it's my favorite. This one has a very nice touch and feel. This one I was printed with the 1500 is the one I was using for this application over here. I was using obviously a white roll and printed with the 1500. Then the same material, the Digi Panorama, it's this one over here, nice touch and feel, is the one I was using for this application over here. Again, all these materials are still, they are porous materials, and that's why you need the ink collector to work with them. Then we go to the Supernova. The Supernova is this one over here. This one is printed with 3000. It's a little bit thicker material to a point that with this one we don't need an ink collector. Okay, so it's the only one from the ones that you'll see today doesn't need an ink collector. It's the thickest, it's the most expensive. In fact, this one, the Supernova, as it was launched in the market some time ago, it's designed for a backlit application, but we don't support the backlit on this material. It doesn't work very well. So to our point of view, the colors are a little bit pale. So we are supporting this one as a frontlit. So we did the profile as a frontlit, not as a backlit. As a frontlit, works very well, good handability. As a backlit, is not the handability, is the colors that are a little bit pale. In the States, they like it, but we decided not really to make it official because, from my opinion, the blacks are a little bit gray. But anyway, as a frontlit, it works very well. And as you can see, print without an ink collector. We have also samples of this one with the 500, 3500. These are the samples that you have over there afterwards if you want to touch and feel. And because it's a media that it's thick and doesn't need an ink collector, I will tell you a story. I wanted to try this material. I want to try these materials with a solvent printer, because at the end, in the last weeks, we hear a lot about the solvent and Epson and how good that printer is. And I said, okay, let's try these new textiles, how well they work with that technology, because I think they're not going to work. The reason I think they're not going to work is because there is no coating. There is a treatment there that, but not a coating, and therefore usually when you don't have a coating with solvent, the ink goes inside. And I was talking with Brenda. You know Brenda, she gave a presentation some minutes ago. I tell Brenda, I have these textiles. Can you print these textiles with the new Epson? We obviously have the new Epson. And she said, no way, I'm not going to destroy my Epson. What do you mean? Well, these textiles are porous textiles, and therefore I cannot even try to load them into my printer because the ink will go through and you're going to destroy my printer. So no way, I'm not going to try them. Wow, I was impressed, because at the end, really, she didn't want to try them, and that means that, to me, personally, but that's a personal thing, if I have to choose between a latex or EcoSolvent, well, I mean, I really like textiles. I love to be able to print on textiles. I love to be able to offer this application. So that is a very good starting point. I cannot do all this you see here. I cannot do with that printer. With solvent, I can print on coated textiles, but that's a different story. Coated are thicker. They have a very different touch and feel. They are also more expensive. But anyway, I really wanted to see the quality. And I told Brenda, I have an idea. What we can do is, there is one material, the Supernova, this one over here. This Supernova doesn't require an ink collector. So that we can load. Yes, we can load this one. So then he printed on this one, and the quality was very poor. I brought just a small piece of the big sample I was doing there, but this is what I was getting in solvent. This is what I'm getting with, and there's no trick here. I can tell you there's no. This is the one from latex, very good saturated colors, very good blues and reds with EcoSolvent. It's not surprising. We already knew that if the media is not coated, the colors are going to be very pale. But again, I was only able to do this because it was a thick material and I don't need an ink collector. I couldn't do the test for the other ones. Okay, so very big difference, and that tells me that, okay, interesting argument. To me, is a very interesting argument that I cannot work with EcoSolvent printers on all this area. Okay? Digi fascination. So we are also going to receive samples like these ones over here. It's a nice material, very elegant, again, good on the two sides. This one was printed with the 500. And I was already doing this test. So when we compare to DyeSap, in general, quality of DyeSap is the best. So I'm not telling to you that DyeSap, so that we are better than DyeSap. No, DyeSap is the best. But the quality we have here is more than good enough for the application we have here. Durability, we are not the best, but having a number 4 is more than good enough. So the message here is that although there are other technologies like DyeSap, I think we're in much better shape because we have enough quality, enough durability, and we can print not only on polyesters, but we can print also on cotton, and we can print on all the medias that you know, going from papers to self-adhesive vinyls and banners. So it's a huge advantage that really makes a very, very nice package. And some of you may encounter also the discussion on so about EcoSolvent, no discussion, much better. About DyeSap is a better technology, but with this one, the enterprise is much better, and it's only one printer. So the advantages of this versus DyeSap, I think, are obvious. although if you are in the business and you print a lot, then you may go directly to die sub. But I think it's a very good advantage to die sub. So then you may ask yourself, what about UV? How do we compare with UV and textiles? Well, you heard the generic comments from Brenda today about the UV technology. Personally, what I don't like, but that's also a personal feeling of the visits I've done, what I don't like of the UV technology is that it smells. It smells. Some people say, no, not all of them. It smells terribly, and especially when I print on textiles, it smells terribly. And we went 3 weeks ago to one print service provider in Madrid to print samples for us, and with textiles to compare with. You already smell something, yeah? So. And we didn't do it by purpose. What happened is that they were printing with a Primo that the colors were very pale. We said, no, let's have similar colors to our colors. So they had to put more ink. And they were printing this type of image. It smells terribly. And we were not able to cure it better. It's still a little bit sticky. So today Brenda was talking about the stickiness, and I understand why. Because these samples, and I don't want you to touch, because I don't think that if they are sticky, it means that they didn't cure very well. So it's probably even a little bit dangerous. No? But in general, I think you agree that although it's a technology which is being used, well, I mean, there is a lot to gain here, because it smells always. It's difficult to cure the UV on textiles, more difficult than in other materials. And if you want good colors, you need to put a lot of ink. And I'm not telling to you that you will always get these sticky materials, because you can put less ink, but then the colors will be a little bit less. Anyway, the smell, I think it's obvious, and it's something that, well, now I don't know what to do with my hands, because they tell me, Brenda says it's with water, yes. I was touching UV, so I have water, you see. Good. So let's continue. I was just having here a parenthesis on other technologies. 10 minutes, we have 10 minutes, good. So what about Auri Textiles? Yes, they are available in Europe. They are now working with all the different countries to get resellers. And you can talk with your country partners to understand how they are in the different countries. I believe that in FESPA they will have a better resolution on the partners that they want to work with. But here I gave you the contact in case you want to ask them directly, want to understand how they are doing. What about pricing? I can tell you that they are very well located. They are kind of average pricing, so we are also very happy about that. And it's obviously a very important point, because we have there is another company that also have very durable textiles. And I was printing with those textiles. A company name is Green Textile. It's a very good company, very good materials. I love those materials. I was working with them, also preparing some applications together with Auric. I had Green Textiles. But then when we ask Green Textiles, okay, which is going to be the price you have in Europe? It's an American company. So the price was very high to a point that makes no sense. So obviously price, we need to consider that. Here it's okay. The other company, we are not supporting in Europe, because it makes no sense. So it's a company that I think is going to be successful in the States, but here with the price they gave to us makes no sense. So we didn't even prepare samples, we don't give to you. Samples are good, so they were also able to get good durability with latex, but we forget about that. Just in case that you hear that company, that in the States is going to be available. And from dry wrap, we have not tested, honestly. At the end, it's a matter of priorities. We may test, but we were not able to test the 300, so we're going to put the profile of 300. And our next priority is, and you'll see in a second, now we have one company, but we're going to introduce more companies in the next weeks and months. So it may look a weak message to you, but it's just a starting point. We already have a lot of media vendors that offer durable textiles, and we're going to share that with you in the coming weeks and months. We have the proof that more will come. Okay, another company that may be also interesting, has also some durable textiles, at least the ones that we tested, is this taffeta and a spinnaker. Those are this type of teardrop textiles, also very elegant, like these ones over here. As you can see, both are this type of materials that are low grammage, taffeta and a spinnaker. And you will see samples with 3000 and the 500, always with an ink collector. So I think it's a very interesting material if you like this type of indoor teardrop applications, or even posters that hang from the ceiling. So it's I think this one is the taffeta. This is the taffeta. So it's a lovely, nice touch and feel, and also very good quality, even also a little bit from the back side. Okay, so you'll be able to test on your own with these samples over here. Okay, so all these that we have been sharing with you are samples of textiles, Frontly Textiles. And you may be wondering, great, I think it's a very good story, but you may know that we are working on a durable textile, and we say we is HP. Because until now, the medias that I was telling to you, they are not HP medias. They are medias from a company that was able to find the right formulation for latex. And why they were able to find it? Well, there are three reasons. One is because nowadays media vendors, they know that latex is the technology, so media vendors are developing for latex. In the past, I was visiting many media vendors. Hey, media vendor, do you want to develop for latex? No, forget latex, we do on solvent. When we started with Generation 3, media vendors was a lot of fun. They were coming to our booth. I remember a queue in the booth of media vendors asking HP, hey, what do I need to do to have good medias for latex? So now, this is the situation. The media vendors, they are developing for latex, and they know that the market requires a textile. So media vendors now, they are really taking a close look to latex and textiles, and that's why these companies are coming to the market with this. And we are also helping them. So we are helping them to ensure that they can do that, because our ideal is when all the media companies in the world, they are offering good textiles for latex. That would help us a lot. So, and we are doing that. We are working with several media vendors in Europe and in the States to help them to improve their performance with latex. So that's why you're going to see in the coming months, weeks, that months and a year, that this is going to happen. So anyway, but I'm talking now about an HP media. An HP media. Why an HP media? Because there is no backlit in the world, as far as I know, that works with latex. And works means that is really durable and had very good colors. So I don't know a backlit. If you know one, tell me, because we are very interested. But there is no backlit that you can really stretch and you can really handle, and when you switch on the light, you don't see traces. You always need to be very careful. So that's why HP, who knows the formulation of the ink, we obviously don't give the formulation of the ink to the media vendors. This is if there is one thing sacred in our life, is the formulation of the ink. But we tell them a little bit where to go, no? But HP knows the formulation of the ink, and that's why they are in advantage to have a very good backlit. So the situation is that yes, it's going ahead. It's going to be announced at FESPA. We'll have availability, selected availability in July, but available will be in October. So I'm talking about this type of backlit textile over here. You know, backlit textile is a textile that you usually put in a frame like this one. So it comes with a silicone. You put it here, and then you need a light box like this one that I designed for this type of presentations, where I don't need any plug. I just put here the batteries. You know this one, you have it smaller. This one is bigger. This is just for this type of demos. Because it's bigger, I need two batteries. Okay, so it's this type of textile that you put it here and have very good colors, very saturated colors, but also the best of all is not really the colors are, it's feasible to achieve them, but when you try to scratch it, when you try to mount it, when you seal the silicone, then you have a very good performance. This is something that I have never seen, because at the end, especially on the black areas, I also, especially in these areas over here, I always see traces, always. So this is going to be a big hit. So we are really looking forward to talk about it in the coming months. So you're going to hear a lot about that, because if there is one thing missing, if there is only one thing missing, I would say it's a backlit. So this will come, and I'm sure all the other media vendors will also be launching good backlits. And I was in the States last week. There are some backlits, but I believe this will be the first one that really works, and we'll see more in the coming months. So what is this story about? Yes, you have a question? Okay, that's an interesting question. He's asking about blockout textiles. I will answer that in a second. It's here. I like that question because I love the blockouts textiles. I love the double-sided textiles. So we'll come in for that in a second. So what are these durable textiles? How do I know which they are? Where can I find them? So now we created a new category. The category is not textiles. The category is durable textiles. In the locator, you can find all the durable textiles with this reference, and then you click into that textile and you see all the information. You may not have seen that, but all the samples you will receive, they have a logo here, which is the dry wrap logo with a number 4. So here we give the information of a 4. From now on, you are going to see only from HP this type of samples with a 4. So we are not going to print anymore. We are not going to promote any more textiles that are a 2 or a 3. So from now on, all the textiles that you see from us are a 4. And here you're going to see whether it's a 4 or a 5. Usually it's a 4. We have one which is a 5, but 4 is what we are usually getting there. And I think good news is that we created for the first time what we call a cookbook. This PDF document, which is available in the Latex Knowledge Center, It should be a very interesting document, not only for you, but for your customers. It's a document that explains which are all these durable textiles that are in the market that we certified. So it's going to be a living document because we are going to certify every week. In fact, we are eager to certify, I would say every month, but we are certifying very soon. So we are going to add the new textiles here in this document. So it's going to talk about the different profiles. So there's a table here with all the profiles, with the 3000, with the 1500, with the 500. We're going to add now the 300. We talk about the passes, the amount of ink, and all the information about whether you need an ink collector or not, as well as how the testing was done, how to find these materials, but also the servicing on the machine. So if your customers are printing now much more textiles, that's really good news because they are using much more ink, but also they may need to service the machine, to clean the machine more often than before, because that creates a lot of aerosol. So if you are now spending all day long printing textiles with the 360, you need to clean the machine. Why is that? The 360 doesn't have that aerosol removal that the 500 has, so you need to clean it more. So all this information and more is here. If you have any feedback on this type of a document, please tell me, because we really want, you see here some information on how to clean the machine when you use it too often. Tell me, because we really want this to be very useful to your customers. And again, it's going to be a living document. Take a look, because it should be very, very useful to me. But you know my address, roman.barba. Don't confuse with Ramon Barba. It's a funny event because Ramon is presenting in the other room. Roman is here. So I am the Roman. Well, maybe it's the same Roman and Ramon, but it's not the same. roman.barba@hp.com. Send me any feedback from this presentation, from this document, because we really want to improve. It's the very beginning of the story. So we have a lot of time in front of us to really add more things here. So we didn't present a lot of textiles. So is it exciting a story? I think it's exciting, but only if this is the beginning. And yes, this is the beginning. So I know that maybe one brand may not sound a lot to you, but we prefer to present you today one brand and not wait, and then next time we meet, we're going to present more brands. So it's the beginning of a journey that we have started. We have resources in place to test material, to have media vendors, to have good textiles. So we are going to work together in this journey with media vendors, and then giving that to you when we meet. So to your question, what we're eager to certify in the coming months is this type of materials. I'm personally eager to certify these double-sided textiles. So you were asking about a blockout textile. Probably a blockout is very useful if you can print on the two sides. And why is that? Because that would be another big advantage to DICE-UP. Not only that we can print on cotton, which DICE-UP cannot do, not only that our machine is much more simple to use, it's only one step versus two steps, and therefore you have less scrap, but also you could print on these double-sided textiles. We are also eager to find more backlit textiles, outdoor textiles, and more brands that we're going to share with you in the coming weeks and months. Okay, so this is the story on HP Latex. I really think that now it's a very, very interesting opportunity we have in front of us, so hopefully you liked to share that with your customers. You have a comment, a question?
I have a question. If you mentioned outdoor, so this means wet resistance?
Yes, yes. So he's asking about, well, Roman, you mentioned outdoor textiles. Yes, if one day I come to you with a textile that you print with latex and I tell you is outdoors, it's wet wrap resistance. They are water resistant, but wet wrap resistance they are not. So yes, we are looking forward to be able to find them or to develop them. So today they don't exist. We have something, but I don't want to tell you exactly that, not to confuse you, because the textiles I was telling to you today is a textile that you print in the printer and you can deliver to your customer with no process in the middle. Okay? So this is what it is today. Maybe next time we meet, I'm going to talk to you about wet wrap resistance, but that they will be in a different way. Okay? So any question you have here?
What about UV light resistance?
Okay, so the question is about UV light resistance. So that, again, when we compare to DICE-UP, we are much better. If there is one thing very bad from DICE-UP is the UV light resistance. Here, it's the standard durability that we all know with latex. Latex inks have pigmented inks, so very big particles that are very resistant to light. So for sure, 1 year with direct sun should resist. So that's where we think we are very strong. Much better than they said that they have very, very small particles. They are killing me already. So thank you very much, and hopefully you enjoy the rest of the presentation. Thank you.